This is Daniel Poppy, host of How to Write Good. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Hi, this is Emily.
This is Lindsay.
And this is Elizabeth,
co-hosts of Beauties and Headcanons here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Once you are done with this episode, we hope you'll come check out our show, Beauties and Headcanons, where we talk nerdy to you about fandoms, fan fiction, and all pop culture for nerds that you can think of. A new show comes out every Friday.
Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Beauties and Headcanons. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
It's a little weird today. It's probably the first time you're ever seeing my face. Just kidding. The only people listening to this podcast are probably like two of my friends, and that's it. So they probably do know me. But hello, everyone. As you know, my name is Sam Kirby. We promised you something different with this podcast. We're doing something a little different lately. This is the first audio-visual episode of Cinema Stories with Sam Kirby. I am here with the always funny, jovial, good-looking, great hair, not too funny all the time, kind of stupid, but Ben Kamueller.
Thank you.
It's good to have you back. So we had our episode last week.
We did.
Did you enjoy the first experience on Cinema Stories?
I did. It was a good time.
It's a learning experience.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
It's really a learning experience. We have our whole set up. I wish you could see the whole thing. You probably can't see the whole thing right now. It's a bit of a work in progress, but yeah, it's shaping up really nice. We're hoping to get a lot of good episodes. This might not even take. Hopefully it does. Hopefully we're looking good. But we are brought to you by the always lovely, great people at where, Ben?
At Cinema Story. No, Public House Media.
Public House we're pretty good people. We're great people too. But Public House Media, great people. We're repping that Public House Media swag, that Cinema Stories cup, Cinema Stories shirt. You know, would you get Cinema Stories gear?
I would.
He would. He would. Everyone.
Cinema Story socks.
Would you?
I would.
That's fantastic. Go to the merch store, get some Cinema Stories gear, Public House Media gear, listen to other great podcasts. There's a lot of good podcasts there. A lot of high-flying people. Really good stuff. So, yeah, on this episode of Cinema Stories, we're going to talk about 2 movies this time. Not like 8 or anything crazy like the last time. We're just going to talk about 2 recent releases. One that I'm sure a lot of people have heard about. It's a big cult following. A lot of people like it. And a smaller movie, maybe not a lot of people have heard of. But, yeah, so the first movie we're going to talk about, what do you think is one of your favorite genres?
Of movies?
Yes.
Ooh,
of poetry.
All right. One of my favorite genres has got to be musicals.
Musicals. Which is very, very crazy because we're actually talking about a musical. What do you like about musicals?
Musicals I like how they use music to tell a story.
Yeah.
And you can sing along, it's just a good time.
It is a good time.
Fun thing to watch.
Yeah, and I think that back in the day, there's a lot more musicals. You had Singing in the Rain, all sorts of like good stuff. West Side Story, some classics. Yeah. But they kind of died out a little bit as the time went on. But now you got La La Land. You got the original Mamma Mia kind of starting that resurgence. Mamma Mia. Oh. We're actually talking about...
Here we go again. Mamma Mia 2.
That's exactly right. Now, so yeah, Ben this week went out to see Mamma Mia 2. I sent him out on his assignment, hoping that he would. Because Ben, what do you like? You like bands, right? You like music.
Yeah, I love music.
Who do you like?
ABBA. ABBA's real good.
What's your favorite song by ABBA?
Ooh, it's got to be. Gotta probably be Money, Money, Money.
Yeah,
probably.
It's a good one.
But Mamma Mia definitely comes in number 2.
Number 2, yeah. I like the one that's in the beginning of Get Smart. Do you know? You don't know that one?
No.
Well, this is kind of awkward now. Shoot, well, I'll remember it eventually. It'll be like the end of the episode. Like, there it is! So yeah, let's, so Ben, if you would like to take the lead on this, if you'd like to discuss about Mamma Mia 2. So, have you seen the first Mamma Mia?
I've seen parts of it.
Parts of it? So do you know the basic storyline, if you want to, like, fill us in on how, like, that movie, or the whole kind of, the Mamma Mia lore, if you,
of the first one you're talking about?
Sure, or just the whole, and then tell us where, like, the movie kind of, takes into place for this one,
Okay, so I've only seen bits and pieces of the first one, but basically it's about a woman, her name is Donna, and she has a daughter, and the daughter has 3 potential dads, and the story kind of revolves around that mainly, but there's a lot of other side stories and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
The second one comes in, and the second one is mainly about that daughter that she has is reopening Donna's hotel, her hotel. But at the same time, it's also focusing on Donna's life as a young woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
And throughout the movie, you see Donna and you see the daughter and how they're pretty similar throughout everything. And it makes a good movie.
Yeah?
I'd recommend go seeing it.
Good. So we got, like, your recommendation out right away.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah, it did a good job applying the ABBA songs with the scenes.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil anything, but it just...
Yeah,
it's really good, I thought.
Good to hear. And so I haven't seen the first Mamma Mia. I've never really been a huge fan of ABBA. Like, a couple of their songs, like the one from Get Smart that I really can't think of right now.
Love ABBA.
Yeah, but so I wasn't really super big on it. Mamma Mia seems like, at the time when it came out, and during that time I wasn't really into musicals, and then La La Land came and changed my life, and The Greatest Showman made me hate them. But no, it's all love here. Even though that movie, everyone I talk to like loves that movie, and it's like, love what you love, man. Do what you do. Not here to judge at all. Aaron Kopp really loves that movie.
So does Jordan.
Jordan, he does. Oh, I gotcha. But we have lovely friends. But yeah, so I wasn't really in on the whole Mamma Mia bandwagon, but I'm glad to hear that you enjoyed yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was for people that have seen the first one, in the second one there was a pretty large event that happens. No spoilers. It kind of just slaps you in the face. Comes out of nowhere. It's like,
really?
When did this happen?
Sure.
And it's not really confirmed until like 30 minutes into the movie. But something happens, and you just need to go see it to find out.
Yeah. Is it like a faster paced movie, or like a slow, takes its time?
It starts off kind of slow. First 30 minutes are kind of slow, but it definitely picks up after that, and definitely catches your interest after the first 30 minutes.
Do you have any favorite like aspects of it, or like performances, or?
What's the actress's name?
Lily James?
Lily James did a very good job, I thought. I thought she portrayed young Donna very well, and the casting was really good overall. Yeah? They casted a lot of the old characters' younger selves.
Oh, yeah?
And I think they did a really good job on that.
Really? Yeah, I saw the trailers. I mean, they look like the blonde guy.
Yeah.
He looks exactly. It looks kind of creepy. But Lily James is actually on this Baby Driver poster right there. One of last year's one of my favorite movies.
Mm-hmm.
Last year.
Same.
Really good movie, Baby Driver. But yeah, so performances were all good. Mamma Mia just like with that movie, there's probably not like a super lot of like, you know what I mean? It's just like seems like a very fun movie.
Yeah,
like
it's not
accessible.
Exactly. It's not a movie that takes a lot of concentration to focus on what's going on. You can catch on pretty fast, and if you go take a bathroom break, get some snacks or whatever,
yeah, for sure,
you're not gonna miss too much.
And you need like those movies, like you need to have like movies like have a good time.
Yeah,
it's like a celebration. If the movie like knows what it is, like it's not trying to be like anything huge or dramatic, but like if you're having if it's meant to be a good time, that's what you have. Like that's all you can ask for.
Exactly. I had a good time.
Good, yeah. So awesome. So yeah, the dance numbers, did you enjoy all of them, or?
A few of them were pretty good. Some of the other ones were kind of basic.
Really?
Not like the choreography for some of them was okay.
Do you have any like specific examples, like any of the characters involved in those ones?
No, because everyone kind of evolved around the same ones. There's a lot of the background dancers. A lot of like their choreography was just kind of like.
Sure, yeah, and
know,
and in musicals you kind of want like good choreography. So that's like the big thing.
Yeah, some of them were really good. Some of the dances were really good. Yeah, some of them were
singing wise, how was it?
Singing was really good.
Really good.
Cher comes in
Yeah.
at some point throughout the movie, and she's okay. It's Cher.
Not
not stellar.
Sure.
Even though her character is like this huge pop star.
Really, she's a huge pop star in the movie too.
Yeah,
Interesting.
she used to be back in the day, so she's kind of like
the real life Cher kind of.
Yeah, basically.
Man, because he told me before the show about what happened, what's the big event, and it kind of it's throwing me off now. But if you're interested, go see it. Like,
go see
if
it. Exactly.
You're the Mamma Mia lore,
Prepare to cry.
Prepare to cry.
Kind of sad.
Kind of sad. Ooh, well. I mean, that sounds like a good summer movie. Like, I feel like my Marissa, she wants to see it. Marissa wants to see it with me, so I'll probably be seeing it soon. I'm glad that it was enjoyable to you, because I feel like sometimes a lot of times we're on the same wavelength, mind wise.
Sure.
But that's good that you enjoyed it. I'm very happy to hear that. I was kind of worried sending you off. You're like, man, I don't know if I want to see this.
I didn't expect very much. I didn't expect very much.
Pleasantly surprised.
So
you checked your expectations at the door, and you went in, and good. I'm glad that
it surprised me.
Good.
You come out, you're like, man, they live great lives in that movie. You come out, you're like, I want to live like them. I want to change my life to be like them a little bit. And then after a little bit of thinking, you're like, that's just kind of unrealistic. Life isn't that easy. Life is not that simple. But, it was good either way.
I feel like in the situation where with the three dads, like, I feel like you'd want to know. It wouldn't be like, because I saw the end of the first one, and they were like, I don't care who my dad. Do you find out?
We do not find out. There's still three dads.
Man, that's. I feel like I'd want to know.
I would too.
But it's fine. It's movie land. Can't.
You do learn more about that. How everything happens.
How the situation.
How the three
that's
dad
good.
Possibility.
That's good.
Happens.
Okay, good. So it's not as scandalous, or it's more. That's nice. A little more innocent.
Yeah.
All right, that's good to hear. So great to hear that you enjoyed it. It's good when you go. That's what I like about musicals a lot, because obviously a lot of it is like not very realistic. A lot of them, but like with these people dancing all over, it's very happy.
Yeah.
But like that happiness, man, like it's great, and people, it's contagious. Yeah, and I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm glad I enjoyed it too.
So would you what would you give it for a rating? Would you say
out of 10 or out of 5?
We'll say out of 5.
Out of 5, I think I'd give it probably like a 3.8.
3.8.
Yeah, I was a lot better than I thought.
Really?
And
good.
It's not a 4. I wouldn't say it's a 4.
Yeah.
Just underneath a 4.
All right. Well,
if we were doing out of 10, I'd probably give it like a 7.
Okay, I got you. Well, I'm glad you felt good about it, and I'm glad that you liked it, because I was, like I said, I was a little scared going in. Like, is Ben gonna enjoy this? But I'm glad that you did, and you got a good time out of it.
Yeah, it was fun for sure. Speaking
of fun, I saw a movie that was not a lot of fun. Very sad, actually. Very serious, self-serious movie, which leads us to our next movie. Our next movie is a little independent movie. I went to the Downer Theater the other weekend, and I saw that one movie, Heart Beats Loud, that one I was talking to you about.
Okay.
The worst movie of the year. Easily the worst. No deeper thinking of the story or anything. Like, cinematography is really bad, and it's just, I won't get into it.
Okay.
I'll probably be triggered. Really horribly made movie. Don't see it unless you want to hurt yourself for an hour and a half. But
that's harsh.
It is. I'm probably way too harsh on it. People will like it, but like I just didn't really vibe with like the making aspects of it. But anyways, so I went to see that movie, and I saw the trailer for this movie called Leave No Trace, and it reminded me a lot of a movie that came out last year. You might have seen it. It was called The Glass Castle.
I did not see it.
Do you remember it though? Kind of, it had Woody Harrelson in it.
I do not.
All right. Well, pretty much that story is about this one dude, and he takes his family, and they live in very kind of crummy places because he doesn't really want to pay or like work to like afford anything, so they're bouncing all over the place, and it's kind of a struggle between whether he's a good dad or a bad dad, because he loves his kids, but then again he gives them kind of a really poor life. And it kind of reminded me of that when I saw the trailer, because it's about this father and his daughter who live in the woods, and they're surviving out there. And then in the trailer it shows that the cops find them, and it's kind of sketch to see that. So they try to adapt to regular life, you know. And it stars Ben Foster, and Ben Foster is the crazy brother in Hell or High Water.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Great actor.
Okay, yeah,
he's really good. Hell or High Water, great movie. And he plays Will, and the young girl, her name's Thomasin McKenzie, and she plays Caroline. Now, in the trailer, they had like a big banner that was in, like, you know how they have like the quotes, like, this movie's great.
Yeah.
But they had
best movie of the year.
Yeah, which is like apparently every movie.
Yeah.
But it was like, she shows shades of Jennifer Lawrence. I'm like, oh boy. Oh boy, that's a big claim you're talking about. And so yeah, we'll talk about the plot a little bit. Like I said, there's these two people. You can tell that the father, Will, very much cares about his daughter. The first 15 minutes, it's pretty slow paced. Like, you just kind of see them living their everyday life. But you see that, like in Glass Castle, he was very kind of, he loved them, but he was very kind of like abusive. Not abusive, but like very
strict.
Not really strict, I should say, but you can tell there's like an edge to him. But this guy just seems like a kind of a peaceful guy a little bit. So maybe something's a little bit off with him, but a peaceful guy. And you just see them like managing their everyday lives in the forest, you know. And then obviously, like I said, the cops come in, and it's about them like adapting to life. Now, like I said, it's very slow paced at the beginning, and usually if the movie's like slow paced, I can keep up with it. You know, I can keep like in there and be like, I'm gonna watch this movie. But it was really slow. Like the whole movie's pretty slow, and it was. I don't want to give my recommendation recommendation away or whatever. But I'm saying it's a very slow movie, so you got to know what you're getting into with that. But the thing is with the plot, I kept with it. I kept with the movie. Didn't fall asleep or anything. But which is bad for a film to just say like I fell asleep doing, you know.
Yeah.
But I stuck with it, and with that, so you kind of expect it to go a certain way in the end, like one of these stories, how they usually go, and it really doesn't go the way you think. It really takes a turn on how like the ending wraps up, and it's really very sad. It's very I almost get spoilers, but it's what you wouldn't expect it at all, and a really big theme of the movie is like running away from things and like adapting to like your life. And the director is named Debra Granik of such hit acclaimed films such as Winter's Bone and Stray Dog.
I love that
blockbuster films. No, I haven't seen any of her work, but she directs it really, really well. Like, it's not like anything like blatant that like that you can tell like what they're going for. Like, you really have to kind of like search into it. She does like she trusts the audience that like you're gonna analyze kind of like what you're doing. You have to be an active watcher, and I think those are the best movies that like you feel like rewarded at the end if you like catch what it's about. You know,
Yeah.
then you're like, dang, I feel smart.
Yeah.
But so I think that's the reason that it was paced so slow, that you can kind of take it all in, and it kind of fits with like the themes of it. And speaking of the themes of the cinematography of the movie, it's very, at the beginning is very beautiful green. Like, it's very like there's lots of greens all over, which is then like when they go to the main world, it's very drab. Like, the walls are very drab and whatnot. But the whole time of the movie, there's very like, it's kind of dark a little bit. It's like very like the clouds are always overcast and whatnot. And essentially what this movie is about with Will, it's kind of he has a mental problem. He has a little PTSD, and he's depressed. And I think that's a really kind of, it ties into the cinematography well. How like in the beginning, like, you know, they're living their like best life. It's like a little brighter, but there's still like that overcast. Like, everything's like a little tinted in darkness, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's really ties in well artistically with like the theme of the movie, I guess. And it really paints the visuals paint a good depiction of like the character's struggles and what he's kind of going through for the rest of the movie. And like I said, that the forest is a big metaphor for the thing. There's a lot of shots of him like over the overshot of him like tiny guy walking through this huge forest trying to navigate. And I think that's like a good visual representation of him kind of trying to manage his like life through going through this depression, like he's maybe lost, you know. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a really good visual metaphor. The performances in the movie, they're not like big action into performances where they like huge dialogue scenes or whatever. It's very quiet. They're acting a lot with their expressions. Like there's not a lot of dialogue in this movie at all. But Thomas and Mackenzie, she like really acts with her eyes. Like she like it's she's not like I wanted to be an actress, you know, like one of those. But she's like, you know, you can tell what she's doing with her only the bare minimum expressions. Okay. And it's really good. And like they said, like she's as good as J-Law, like Jennifer Lawrence. Like, she's better than J-Law. This like really like this was better than anything she's ever done.
Better than X-Men.
She's good in X-Men, but like this is like it's, you know what I mean? Like
better than Red Sparrow.
I think so.
Oh man.
I think so. But she was really good. She was really good. And Ben Foster, he was more reserved. He's a more quiet guy, but he really painted it like you without too much like blaring evidence or like them telling you that he has like a mental problem. You can really tell that he's very quiet, like, you know, but he is very troubled. And it's like in The Glass Castle, which is I think a pretty good movie. It was like they would always say like you're such a jerk and something, you know, like they would like spell it out for you, but you can just kind of tell with him that there's like something a little bit off with him. You can just from their like little expressions you like know what their whole story is. And so yeah, the ending is really harrowing is the word I would say. That's the word I'm going to use. Word
of the day.
Word of harrowing. But yeah, it's not what you expect, and it's probably more realistic for the story that they're telling. And I think, like I said, it was like it's a trudge to get through a little bit at times, but the ending really kind of wraps you up, and you're like, man, like that's probably realistic. It's probably the best way the story could have ended, you know, with what they're going for. And you know, maybe in life there's not always happy endings with certain things. I'm not saying it's not a happy ending. It's not a happy ending. But,
it's no Mamma Mia.
No Mama... Oh, dude. That's why I'm glad about the movies we picked this week, because they could not be from what I can tell. They're probably... But they're both... You know, I recommend this movie. Like I said, it's very slow, so you got to know what you're getting into with this. It starts slow, stays at the same pace throughout. But I think it's a really kind of... more like complex, like not like... It's like a really like intricate look at life and mental illness and PTSD, and that's really like bolstered up by like the cinematography and the performances. Everything kind of contributes to the overall themes and motifs about depression and mental illness. And I think that like that's a lot of people, they don't understand, or like you know what I mean, like they don't. You know what I mean.
Does it shine light on it?
It like shines light on it a little bit. Thank you. And I think it's a movie that people who it's a movie that I think that you should like people should see.
Okay.
You know, I think that it paints a really good picture of that. But yeah, it's very somber. And the ending it's satisfying and it isn't at the same time.
Okay.
It's one of those kind of things. But it's not a big mainstream movie, like I said. So if you're not really into like kind of art housey kind of things, like if like people may not like be interested in it, and I know a lot of people aren't, and like there's nothing wrong with that, you know. But like if you want to like branch out a little bit and try it, like I think it's a good movie that like you can analyze in like a class, you know, like just take like the visuals and be like, well, this is what this means or whatever. But I really enjoyed it. It was really well put together. I think that everything contributed to the story and the overall theme well. And yeah, I would give it like a 4.2 out of 5, I think.
Really?
Yes.
It was that good?
I think so. Really well made. Like I said, it may not hit with everyone. Like it's not enjoyable. Like it's not really a fun movie to watch. Like, you know, but it's really well made. Really kind of like makes you think a lot. And yeah, so either whether you go for like the mainstream movie or like the Mamma Mia, the party, or you go for like the artsier, more somber thing. I think they get a good experience either way.
All right, good to hear.
Yeah, awesome. So 2 recommendations for you guys. If you're going to see movies this week, you got 2 really good options. And yeah, so that's what we kind of like have been trying to experiment with, like different stuff we can do on the show.
Yeah.
So we're going to, each week, I think that we're going to see something, either one of us can see something more independent, more smaller, and then the other one, or we're going to see them both, and then we're going to see the big commercial movie that you're going to see at like a bigger theater, you know, and kind of like see how we can relate to them together, you know, like, yeah. So, awesome. So that'll be something cool for you guys. And now we're going to get into one of the fan favorites part of the show. I don't know. This is movie news. Movie news. I know you love saying movie news. So we have a couple trailers that came out recently. I don't know if you've seen it. We talked about it a little bit. Bohemian Rhapsody released a new trailer. Have you seen it?
I did see it. I saw it when I saw Mamma Mia.
What? So was it? What did you think of it?
It was exciting.
It was very. I don't know.
It was really good. I thought.
Ben, we're both classic rock guys. I would say.
Yeah.
I'm a big Queen. Queen's my favorite band of all time. Best band of all time, in my opinion. Yeah, so when I heard that they were doing this movie, there's a lot of production issues with like Bryan Singer. Do you know who that is? He's the director of the movie, but like he got fired like 3/4 of the way done, and he's kind of there's been like a lot of controversies with him, I'll say. But so I was wondering, like he got in like a fist fight, or like they were in an altercation with the guy who plays Freddie Mercury.
Oh really?
Yeah. So you should read up on it.
Okay.
But really interesting stuff. And I saw the trailer, and I'm like, I really was excited by it.
You have to smile when you're talking about it. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And like
it's just so good.
They mix all the classics together with the music, with the music and the visuals. It's really edited well together, like a lot of good trailers are. One part of it where he's like, what the one guy's like, I need more time, and Freddie's like, what if I don't have time?
Yeah, I'm like,
that broke my heart, man. But it delves into like a lot of his personal life. It delves into a lot of the music the band made, how they were more experimental, and I gotta say I'm excited for this movie. It's surprising that we haven't had a Queen movie yet.
We don't have a lot of. I mean, do we have a lot of band movies in general?
I mean, we have like documentaries. I mean, I guess we have like documentaries and stuff.
We have, like a Johnny Cash movie.
Yeah, but yeah, for sure. Yeah, we do.
But I can't think of anything else.
But
a lot of documentaries.
Yeah, for sure. But like Freddie Mercury is such an interesting guy.
Yeah.
Like one of the most interesting people. And I looked into that, like the thing I told you about, the show goes on. The show must go on is a Queen song, one of their best songs, and it was written like 3 weeks and performed by Freddie Mercury 3 weeks before he passed away. And it's a really, once you know that, it's a really like a chilling song. But so looking forward to that, definitely. Other trailers that came out, Glass. I'm a big Unbreakable guy. Unbreakable is one of my favorite superhero movies, one of my favorite M. Night Shyamalan movies, really underrated. And it ties into Split. You saw Split?
I saw Split.
So what was your reaction during the big twist at the end of Split where we find out that they're in the same universe?
So when they showed Bruce Willis, I'm like, okay. I'm like, there's got to be a sequel coming to Split. I didn't even know Unbreakable was a thing. Everyone in the theater was like, what? Like, oh my God. And I'm looking around like, did I miss something? Like, what's going on?
No, that's totally fine because I went with a couple of friends of mine in high school. And I'm the only one, I feel like I was one of the people few people who saw Unbreakable. So I was with my friends, so like I saw Bruce Willis and I like jumped out of my seat. I'm like, yeah! Because like we've been wanting a sequel for this movie for so long. And my friends were like, what are you doing? And I'm trying to explain to them, and they're like, oh. No, I'm really excited for the trailer. It was really good. Like it has like the same tone as those two movies, all the characters interacting. That's me. Really awesome to see because like they're not like your average superheroes like Captain America and that stuff. They're like really kind of interesting.
I think it's more realistic.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing. That's one of the big like acclaimed things about it is it's probably the most realistic take on if there was like and like they bring like that the mental illness side of it in there too.
Yeah.
Like if it's like people who think they're superheroes or whatever. But Mr. Glass is one of the best characters, and you haven't seen Unbreakable, so I'm not going to spoil anything. But he's a great character, and just like the themes of that movie and like everything with that movie just ties up really well. And I think you definitely like it. And once you see Glass, I think that it's gonna. I hope it's good. I hope it's not like a. I hope it doesn't let us down because this has been building up for 19 years, and then this is like it's okay. But I hope it's good. And our last 2 bits, actually. I want to talk about another thing after this. But the last bit of bigger, wide-known news is about James Gunn. And James Gunn, not really a easy way to say it, is if you don't know, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, a big Marvel director, James Gunn, a very creative guy, very funny director. One of my favorites of that Marvel's had, I was excited because James Gunn is going to be the only person in Marvel to have a trilogy to direct the full 3. And not anymore, because recently some tweets from his past resurfaced about he had some very not very appropriate tweets, jokes. Granted, they are jokes. Maybe not the most appropriate if you're in a big film position, you know. And they're from 10 years ago, so a while ago, but still not really great to have on your track record, you know. And I don't want to give like my like personal like opinion on it, but yeah, just kind of disappointing to see how it all turned out with Disney. The whole situation's not a really good situation. Disney's a little handcuffed themselves. James Gunn probably was like 10 years ago, you know, and he did make an apology, a formal apology. He said that he's a different person. He's like crap because they were jokes. They weren't really funny, but like you can see that he was joking. But he said that he's improved as he's grown as a person. And yeah, what do you think about the whole? Do you have any input? Any input on that?
Check your tweets and Instagram posts and Facebook posts, kids, because that stuff comes back to haunt you.
Yeah, man. I mean. It's definitely, especially if you're in like because that could affect you with jobs. You know,
any job.
Yeah, exactly.
You
so
know, my parents have been saying that for a long time. Like, watch what you post, and I'm like, whatever.
But it's coming back to haunt people.
But
you know
what? I went back and I searched. I'm like, oh, some of this stuff should not be.
Cringy stuff.
A lot of cringy stuff. Like nothing that's horrible. You know,
nothing bad.
Jokes or anything. It was just really cringe. I'm like, people saw this.
Yeah,
it's just embarrassing.
Yeah, no, I know. I definitely
be embarrassed just talking about it.
Yeah, definitely. I know what you mean. I probably have a lot of embarrassing stuff on Twitter, but yeah. So it's just a pity. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is one of my favorite, probably my favorite MCU movie. I'm in a minority on that one, but Guardians 1 is also a hit, like the music and everything. Possible director? Do you have any ideas of who could direct it after? I got a few personal picks.
I have no idea.
No idea. The guy who did Thor Ragnarok, Taika Waititi, he's really good. You should check out some of his other films. What We Do in the Shadows is an amazing movie. It's comedy. Okay. I definitely recommend you to see that as soon as you can.
All right.
But he does comedy really well. The only problem is that with Ragnarok, what's good about the Guardians movies is that it balances drama and comedy really well. And Ragnarok was just kind of pretty much comedy.
Yeah.
So like that was probably maybe J.J. Abrams. Maybe that would be a good pick. The guy who did Star Wars, Force Awakens, and Star Trek, those ones.
Okay.
So space, comedy, drama.
Yeah.
So that would be like, I would be interested to see that, but just kind of a bad situation. We'll see because there's been a lot of outcry. Like Dave Bautista, who plays Drax, he went on Twitter and tweeted that he was very upset about. He didn't like get into specifics, but he said he's like very upset with what happened to James Gunn because they were from the past, you know.
Yeah.
And like I said, not taking any of my personal opinions on it out there, but we'll see how it happens if they decide to like hire him again and try to hash it out, or because it is a business decision and it's like an understandable one. You understand why they made that decision, but yeah. And our last bit of news was on a sadder note is that so as we are bringing to you our first video podcast as we are doing right now. I'm a big fan.
Excuse me.
Sorry. So I am a big fan of like other movie podcasts. Like I've been watching them for a while, and there is a guy who's a director in he directed. He was a contributor for one of these podcasts, and he passed away this weekend. His name was John Schnepp. He seemed like a really great guy. Like I said, obviously didn't know him personally, but just watching him, and but he had apparently he had a massive stroke, and like he was holding on for life for like 5 days, and he unfortunately passed away. But even like people that I know from like Public House Media, like they were somewhat connected to him, and it's always sad when you see like a person that you kind of like look up to a little bit, even if you don't know him that well. And when he passed away, it's really sad. But I thought that we should like make mention of it. That might be a good idea, just to, I think that's a good thing to do.
This episode honored too.
Yes, definitely. The first episode, so yeah. But yeah, it's kind of sad note to end on. But so like, gotta respect those who came before us. And so yeah, that is it. I think I can't think of anything else that we didn't cover. I think that this was a good. We'll see if it turned out with the visuals. Hopefully it's it. Hopefully it looks Gucci. We're gonna get everything set up. We're gonna get more stuff to make the set just look awesome for you guys watching. I've gotten a lot of recommendations to do the video. Like Adam, our dear friend Adam. I need to listen to your podcast, but it has to be video. It's like, well, doing this for you now. No. But this is fun. I mean, if this turns out, it's gonna be a good thing. Something new. Like I said, check out Public House Media. The great people over there. They do a lot of great work, a lot of different shows of variety. There's very like self-improvement shows over there. If you like need to get up and you're kind of like mopey and you don't know how to like live your best life, there's a lot of good shows on there. There's other like shows that do like pop culture stuff, like Beauties and Headcanons is a great show. But but check out Public House Media merch, Cinema Stories mug. It tastes better in Cinema Stories mugs.
It does.
Doesn't it? It tastes great.
Like there's no proven facts to back anything scientific up, but
I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure.
Maybe.
I'm sure. Like some Elon Musk. I'm pretty sure he did a test on it.
Check Cinema Stories mugs.
Yeah.
You might have. Google it.
Yeah,
and
you can always believe what you see on the internet all the time, especially if it's coming from one of us. But yeah, that is our show for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Ben, where can we find you on social media?
Find me on Facebook, Ben Kamueller. Find me on Instagram, at Ben Kamueller98. Find me on Twitter, at BKamueller. And I think that's it.
Awesome. Great. Ben Kamueller, it's great having you on the show.
Thanks
Sam Kirby, as usual.
Thanks for having you on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No problem.
I'm glad that you're...
I'll probably invite you next week, too.
Do you think I did good enough?
I think you did pretty well.
I'm glad. I'm really glad. I got a second gig, guys.
I'm going to need my mug back.
Yeah, sure. Cinema Stories with Ben and Cameo. So yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at SamKirby17 or Samuel_J_Kirby on Twitter. Where you can find me, or Sam Kirby on Facebook. But yeah, thank you very much for joining us. We're going to try to do some more cool things like this more often, and experiment. We're going to see how it went, but I think it went really great. Ben, anything else you want to say to the good people at home?
No.
You heard
Stay
it.
smooth.
Stay smooth. You heard it here first. Well, thank you very much, everyone. Until next time on Cinema Stories. With Ben Kamueller.
Yes.
Yeah.
Until next time, Cinema Stories, Ben Kamueller.
All day, Sam Kirby.
My guest, Samuel Kirby.
All the time. Great to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.